When an emergency occurs off the coast of southern British Columbia, this is how the Canadian Coast Guard gets to the scene quickly. This 24-meter hovercraft can fly across the water at up to 60 nautical miles an hour. Speed is paramount when lives are at stake.
We do get sinkings, we get fires on vessels where people have to abandon into the water. And so the big thing is the urgency in which to get to that particular person.
Floating on a cushion of air, it can move over land and water.
The bottom of the actual craft is 4 feet above the water.
What helps this boat float over shorelines and mudflats are 4 heavy-duty engines.
We have 2 designated strictly for lifting the actual craft and 2 for propulsion. And the 2 props back aft, they put out the equivalent of 800 horsepower each. And the 2 lift flanges, they're just under 600 horsepower each.
This vessel needs to travel over land because when the tides go out around here, they expose over 100 square miles of mudflats.
Boaters in that particular area do come aground during the situations or are left high and dry, and we're able to assist them.
But not all rescues happen in shallow areas. Today, this team has been called up to find a trapped diver.
Okay, so we have a report of a diver trapped in the wheelhouse of the rib-toe Lion. Depth is about 45 to 55 feet. He's been there approximately 30 minutes. Colin, you're going to be primary diver. If anything happens down there to either of you, we're going to go to Nanaimo General hyperbaric chamber for the diver should he be there, or if anything happens to you guys, we're going to Vancouver. Any questions?
When the hovercraft arrives at the scene, the engines are turned off, the skirt deflates, and this boat becomes a low, stable platform, a good place to launch a rescue mission. Diver Ray Clone is the first to go down.
Dive in the water.
My job as a rescue diver would be to extricate people from capsized vessels, submerged cars, and possibly people falling off docks and piers.
He's looking for a body trapped in this submerged shipwreck.
Diving equipment could be a good sign that the individual might be in the area. Around a corner you might see a fin, like in this case I saw his fin sticking out the door, and I was able to just come around the corner with my in-water tender holding my line.
The long, colorful cord attached to Ray supplies his life support. He has another diver called a tender swimming behind him to make sure the lines don't get tangled. And a second tender monitoring the lines on board.
Roger, you're in the aft hold section.
Everything is being sent down the lines from here.
Down there, they have almost no control of their air. I control the primary air supply as well as communications. They have a backup system for their air in case of the emergency, but all their primary systems are controlled by me. Benefit is they can control their work, and what they're concentrating on is rescuing someone from a submerged vessel down there or some sort of car. Whatever they need to do, they can focus on their work, and I can control all the systems that they need to live and breathe.
Sean is also monitoring Ray's air pressure and is in constant communication with him during the rescue.
Roger, let me know when you're there.
Ray has surfaced with a diver.
Boat's on the surface.
Clear? Okay. Clear, steer.
The low platform makes it easy to pull him on board.
On the rescue deck, it only sits maybe 6 to 7 inches above the actual water. So when we actually go to extricate someone out of the water, our people are able to get right down to the actual water, place the person in the stretcher, and they'll lift them on board.
After initial medical treatment, the next step would normally be to head to the nearest hospital.
Luke, can you grab the AED for me? Yeah.
But this was just a practice rescue. And now that it's complete, it's time to fire up the engines and head back to base. This Canadian Coast Guard team is trained and ready to go, and they have just what they need to fly across land and sea to get there.